What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. This is take 2 of this video because apparently I didn't record any audio. So what we're talking about today is audio, which is a very important thing when it comes to videos. If you can't hear anything and it doesn't sound good, in my opinion, then it's not worth watching the video. For any of you out there who are creating videos and you're really worried about video quality and image quality, while I think that is important and it's not necessarily something you should absolutely not think about, I think it is something that you should look for. With anything that you're doing, if it sounds bad, most of the time people aren't going to watch it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to do anything. So today, I'm going to talk about something that I really appreciate, and that is going to be the Sennheiser MKE400. Now, what this is an on-camera shotgun mic. For me, Sennheiser has been a brand that I have appreciated over the years. Being a musician, have a background in some sort of audio engineering, and be able to understand that mics and stuff are important. Sennheiser is one of those trusted brands out there that I will never, ever decide not to use. One of my favorite microphones that I own is the MKE400. That is my shotgun microphone. That is my go-to interview, field recording, anything like that. If I'm able to use it, I'm going to use it. It sounds incredible. I think it's a great shotgun microphone. And what I was after for my camera, for something that would be set up for vlogging, ambient audio, something that I don't have to carry around an external recorder or anything like that, was an on-camera shotgun microphone that was going to sound as close as possible. Now, there is the MKE400, I believe, which is a kind of a smaller shotgun microphone than compared to the 416, and it is much cheaper. It's less than half the price. Sounds phenomenal, but it requires phantom power. It requires quite a bit. I think you can put a battery in it to kind of compensate for that phantom power. And what phantom power really is kind of a small voltage of power going to the microphone to help give it a boost to actually be able to get a signal from that microphone. For this microphone here, there's not a whole lot to it, and it's simple and it sounds great and it's small. One of the things I like about it, if you take a look here on screen, we have the microphone inside this capsule here. It is already built in with shock absorption. It's got sort of a windscreen on there to kind of help with any wind that's kind of built in. It does come with a dead cat, so you could throw that right on top. Very nice here. It also comes with this nice little bag, so you can protect your gear, be able to put it in there, not get it scratched up. And then it comes with 2 cables, one that goes into your camera and one that would go into like a cell phone or something like that, that's specifically designed for that. It is super easy to use. On the side, you have a headphone out here and a volume for that headphone. Nice little Sennheiser logo. Lets people know that you're using the right gear. Now, of course, there's other great brands out there. We're going to talk about one of those in just a second. But again, Sennheiser is a very, very well-known brand, especially to any audio people out there. So you know you've got some good stuff here. On the other side, you've got a switch that goes all the way down, kind of a flatter switch here. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. Again, hopefully this is better than last week's video, but you got a little flat switch here. So that is the lowest volume of gain that you're putting out from this microphone. In the middle is kind of a middle ground, and then you have a plus, which is the highest it goes. I don't really know the dB settings for these, but it's probably like a -10, -20, like a 15, and then, you know, closer to 0 somewhere, maybe a -6, something like that. I recommend running this at plus or probably the middle. You want to get more gain out of your microphone than you do your camera. Cameras inherently have a very, very high noise floor. Some of them have pretty good preamps, and you're able to boost the sound out of those cameras quite well. But the more you have coming from your mic, the less you have to boost your camera and the less noise that you'll get. For anybody that doesn't know what noise is, it's kind of that hissy, kind of staticky sound that you'll get if you are recording audio. If you're familiar with that, that means something within your chain is causing noise, whether it's the recorder that you're using or the microphone. Both can have noise. Both have an inherent noise floor, which is basically the lowest amount of noise that you can kind of get out of there. And after a certain amount of gain threshold, you will start to introduce noise to your signal. Now, the other switch on here is sort of a low roll off here. Basically, that means it'll cut out some of the bass frequencies that are going into the microphone, make it a little easier to hear any sounds that you have, the proximity effect. So if I back up a little bit, it's not as low, it's not as bassy. And then once I get right up on the microphone, it introduces more bass into that microphone. Some people like it. It's definitely a broadcasty sound, but sometimes you want to cut that out so it helps kind of make sure you've got a nice, clean, easy to understand and, you know, hearable audio from any voice that you have going in. And then there's another little switch, or the same switch rather. Instead of the roll off on the low end, you could have it flat. So then everything's kind of equal. All the frequencies are as equal as possible. There are some great videos out there if you want to know the absolute frequency. If you want to know the absolute frequency, I'm going to try this again, and I'm going to leave all that in. If you want to know the absolute frequency response of this microphone, great ones out there. Podcastitch, I believe, has this microphone on there. I could be wrong, but if he does, he definitely talks about the frequencies that are available on this microphone. And then under that, you have a power switch. Tap it on. It'll light up green. We'll see that in a second. And then you hold it to turn it off. I currently have this set to turn on and off with my camera. So once it's mounted on my camera, once the camera comes on, it sends a signal to the microphone to go ahead and turn it off. And then when I turn it off, the exact opposite, it tells it to turn off. Now, some other features of this microphone that I want to go over. It is a supercardioid pattern on the front here. And what that basically means is it helps reject any off axis. So anything to the side or behind the microphone, it helps reject any noises from there. And it's very, very forward facing. So anything that goes straight into the front of this microphone is the best it's going to sound. Another cool thing, and this is a weird one for me. So I have this listed, as most of you guys know, I try to not boost products to their best. Some products have some issues. And the only reason I talk about those, it's not so I'm not unbiased or anything like that. I want people to know any issues that I may have, because those could be deal breakers for some users out there. So if, for example, the autofocus on this camera that I'm using isn't as good as Sony, and autofocus is important, you may want to go with the Sony camera. But if price and all the other incredible features, plus some pretty good autofocus, if I do say so myself, say that again fast, obviously I can't speak today, then you'll go with the Lumix. But on here, one of the things that I wrote down as a con, but I also really like, is batteries. So on the back here, you do have a little battery door, and hopefully that is focusing for you guys here. And then basically what you do is you pull the door down, and then you'll see 2 AAA batteries sitting in there. So one of the things I was looking at when I was trying to buy a microphone is I was interested in having an internal battery. Most of the time, they're very nice lithium-ion batteries that last forever, and they're great. And you don't have to worry about buying batteries, because batteries can get expensive. But then I thought about it, and I realized that one of the things I liked about this, even though it's a con, is of course you have to put batteries in it, but I always carry batteries with me. I make sure that I have plenty of AAA, so that way if I see the mic cut out, I can go swap those real quick, and then I'm back. If I forget to charge a microphone that has a built-in battery, I'm screwed. So some of those batteries that have built-in batteries, also you're able to throw like a kind of a battery backup in there. If it does die, you can throw some batteries in there, whether it's a 9-volt, AAAs, AAs, anything like that. But I much, much prefer knowing that I don't have to worry about that. So between the batteries and knowing that, the dead simplicity of this microphone, the built-in shock absorption, rather than this, I'll show you guys this real quick. This is a Rode Video Mic Go 2. And as you can see on here, it slides in and out of the shock absorber. It's taller than this microphone. It's kind of flimsy, and I'm afraid, the microphone's probably not going to come out. It's actually really hard to get it in, but it could, right? So this is an all-in-one piece. I don't have to worry about anything falling off. And to me, that just makes this mic incredible. So what I want to do is, obviously, a mic can look credible. It could have all these features on it, or lack of, to make it simple for everybody. But I want to have you guys hear what it sounds like. Again, this is my second time recording this video. I would compare it to this microphone, but for some reason in the recorder that I'm using, which is a Rode product, so don't get me wrong, I love Rode products. I bought this specifically because it's Rode. It was affordable, and it goes on my second camera. For some reason, I don't know if there was crazy noise coming through or what, but this was just creating a massive signal, and I have no idea what it even sounds like, because the reason I'm recording again is because my audio stopped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and show you guys here real quick. It does have a screw, kind of a nut that goes on the microphone here. So that way, it's going to stay secured. Cameras don't have that. So this just goes into your camera. You can get brackets or cages or anything like that for it. But let me go ahead and plug this in real quick, and then we'll take a listen. All right, what is going on, everybody? This camera is extremely heavy. This is still the Lumix S5 II with the 24-70. And right now, I've got the microphone on top. So again, this is kind of vlog style, if you will. I was going through the editing part of this, and I realized that the mic sounded terrible through the Rodecaster Pro 2. I don't know if it was the specific settings I had or what was going on. I need to switch hands. This is really heavy, and I don't have stabilization on, so my apologies. But yeah, it was extremely, it sounded terrible. So what I want to do is kind of do these tests real quick. I'm going to turn the camera. I'm talking straight into the mic right now. I'm going to turn the camera real quick so we can kind of get these off-axis settings going and then go from there. Hopefully this doesn't look ridiculous because I feel ridiculous right now. So going to go ahead and turn. You guys are going to see my monitor in just a second. You shouldn't be able to hear me that well. And then kind of turn here. Turn here. My apologies for this looking absolutely insane. Back to normal. This is extremely heavy. I was trying to compare the internal microphones for you guys, but for some reason, it just didn't want me to do that. So this is what it sounds like, and hopefully it sounds all right. Hopefully you guys get a good comparison of this. If I can in the future, I'll try to do a better test of getting this actually recorded properly and not me trying to hold up this extremely heavy camera and have it sound better, because it sounded awful. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, watching this video. If you did like it, leave me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscription button. If you guys want to hear more about this, or more, not me shaking the camera violently because it's nearly impossible to hold. I've got two hands on it now. And if you guys want to hear like a comparison between this and the Rode Video mic, let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time. All right, peace.